teach around on this topic as well, in terms of who is your customer. And there's also a methodology that I use at the Business and Leadership Academy around the 5 stages of relationship with your customer, designing the right relationship with the customers. Okay. Is that until you find people that agree that they want what you have, okay, that they desire your product and your service, and that desire compels them to be willing to actually pay to acquire that product or that service, then that relationship hasn't been established yet, right? This is really, if you're new to entrepreneurship, or if you're considering entrepreneurship, or if you're looking to unlock growth in your business, you have to get this right, because you're living in a time when people are being made to apply effort, resources, energy, doing certain tasks and activities that would not lead eventually really to the outcomes. This is where more is not more. Okay, more outputs will not be more results, particularly if it is not backed with the right mindset and strategies, right? Is that so? That's why training is important. Is that if you have clarity in terms of what I'm trying to do is nurture and create customer relationship with certain groups of people, and the groups of people you want to engage with must fit a certain profile in terms of even mindset, is that people that want what you have but do not want to pay for it, they are not your customers. Now, over time, right, if that willingness, if you're able to help them see, you say, okay, will you marry me? No. Will you be my girlfriend? No. Would you dance with me? No. You can become a persistent, right, lover in a way. Using that story is that you don't want to take no for an answer. If you're that person that is resilient enough to say, oh, I'm going to convince you, you're my girl, right? Like, that's also the dance. Is that even if you approach the first time and say, hey, hello, right? I have this product for you. I have this service for you. And the person's like, no, thank you. I'm fine. Well, you can walk away. That's one approach, and conclude that, okay, this person really is not worth that extra effort, right? So this is a judgment. It's after all, it's a judgment call. So this is where judgment comes in, is your ability to assess if providing more information, providing more social proof, if providing on and on and on, if you stack up all of these things, at some point, will it still convert those people to become your customers? So this is really for entrepreneurs. It's an entrepreneur's mindset. Is you have to understand that there are people who want what you have. They're not willing to pay for it. There are people who want what you have. They're willing to pay for it. That's where that sweet spot lies. And there are people who do not want what you have, but they are willing to pay for what it is they want. That is a sophisticated approach where we can unlock growth, because now this is more, I'm stretching you a little bit here, is that a lot of times people may not know that they have followers that are willing to do business with them, but the current product or service they are offering, they're not interested in that. That is a growth opportunity, because if you have the ability and capacity, you may actually create a new product and those people will now buy. That's really when I go into that type of strategies, when you're operating in a saturated market, but yet you have very loyal past customers that would love to engage you. Let me give you an example. I want to be practical as possible. So let's say you're operating in the wedding business. You sell wedding gowns or wedding accessories or cakes, right? And let's say you've had satisfied customers that patronized you for their wedding. Okay, they do their wedding once, right? And then, but they loved your service so much. No matter how much they loved you, the best they can do is to refer you. They're not coming back to you. So what you start realizing is that, say 9 months, 2 years down the line, the same people you served the same people you served for their wedding, because you treated them well and they were legitimate customers, they might come back to you and say, guess what? Do you also have baby products? These are adjacent opportunities and where you can extend your offerings, right? Most times when you're looking at growth potential in your space, you need to also understand that if you've served a customer before and that relationship is solid, you could start exploring to say, what else can I present to this person? And this is what drove the growth of the retail space, right? If you look at the big box retail in America as example, it all started with 1, 2, 3 things, your basic needs, right? When you think about Amazon as an example, Amazon started with books. But if they stopped with books, just like Barnes and Nobles, in a way, they'll still be there and they'll still be serving only people that need books, right? Is that at a point, if you're looking to grow and scale, right, you need to start doing what automotive industry does, is that when you go into a showroom, you're going to see different types of vehicles targeted to serve different segments of the market, right? And they're biting into market share of different segments. So, right, for family cars or sports cars, like if you go into a showroom and all they're selling you is SUV, you're going to go, okay, if I don't want an SUV, if I'm not interested in an SUV, then that's not the space for me. So that's another growth expansion customer acquisition strategy is you may have a base right now, but if you want to grow, you may need to actually expand your product and service offerings. That's just something there as well. But again, at the core of what I'm trying to share today is understanding that customers are individuals or businesses, if you're in B2B, that actually want what you have and they are willing to pay you for it. That's the relationship that makes sense ultimately. Okay? Now, let me also paint a picture of social media platforms, right? Is that oftentimes people misunderstand the relationship like that we, for example, have with social media platforms until you are an advertiser, say on Instagram. Okay? Instagram doesn't treat you as a client. We use the platforms, we're there as that's why they crafted the content creator role. Is that we've built a platform, you can create and launch your content on the platform. It's like this symbiotic relationship where we use you and you use us and we're happy with one another. And because of that existing relationship, in a way, we can go back to our true customers, the advertisers that this platform is made to serve. We can go back to them and establish a customer relationship with advertisers where they're willing to use our platform to promote their product and pay for it. Content creators do not pay. The way we pay is we use our energy and our resources to create those content, whereas advertisers, right, you're going to pay those platforms to secure reach. So the reason I'm sharing all of this dynamic relationship is that if you're an entrepreneur, please understand the different types of relationships you are engaging with and do not mix one for the other. Okay? But harm yourself with the right strategy. So if your goal is to grow your customer base, please be clear, right? Is that do not assume that those consuming your content, that everybody consuming your content, that love your content, that like, share your content, are ready and willing to pay for it. So how do you get people to be willing, right? This is where the, should I say, the technical side of business development comes in. You will have to engineer success. And even right now, in the world we're living in now, you have to be more precise, right? When you talk about inflation and all of those things happening, is that you have to actually become more precise with your offerings, with your messaging. There has to be absolute clarity. You have to engineer the right product, the right service, right? That stimulates desire, right? Is that the first step to starting that, to igniting that customer relationship is to create desire. Desire is that if you're looking for a girlfriend and she doesn't want you and there's no desire, nothing goes, it doesn't move forward from there. It doesn't. Okay, so let me stop this and just, oh, Miss Venda, thank you so much for being here. Let me stop right here and just open the space. If anybody would like to come up stage and just react to everything I'm sharing right now, I hope you're smiling, because for me, I come here to just have a great time, connect with people, share, right? Divine is smiling. Yes, yes, yes. Boyfriend, girlfriend, yes. Will you marry me? No, right? Because one of the things I try to help entrepreneurs do is take back your power, right? Don't let your power go, right? Is that the moment you are in a space where you feel helpless and hopeless, that's not the, like, entrepreneurship is the highest expression of human creativity and productivity. It's something to be applauded. It's something to be celebrated, because what you're doing is you're committing to use your energy, resources, everything that you have to bring value into the marketplace. And all you're asking for is who needs this value and who is ready, who sees the value enough to pay for it. That's really the simple. I try to just make it very simple. Everything else, it's all the dance you have to dance to get the girlfriend. That's it. All of those things. There are things you have to do ultimately to win the hearts and the minds of people that need what you have. That's why I talk about desire. So we have a template, we have a guide, we actually have a 5-part series. So I have a 5-part methodology that I teach at the Business and Leadership Academy. And you can learn more about the Business and Leadership Academy at toyinmesiri.com or nazaru.academy. Is that this 5-part series follows engineering desire. Because guess what? If you don't know me, we aren't going to any dates. I'm married. I'm just using this analogy again because I'm sure you're going to remember this forever, right? Is that you need to know intimately the hopes, dreams, aspirations of the people you want to serve. That's first. You absolutely have to get into their head space for good reason, because you care. Right? What are their struggles? What are their pains? What are their aspirations? What are their desires? What, on and on and on. You actually have to sit still and understand that. Because if your dreams and their dreams, there's no alignment, that's okay. You don't know me enough. Keep moving. Right? If there's no alignment, if I don't see you, if I don't know you, if I don't understand your struggles, then how can I offer a solution? Right? If you're going to see a medical doctor and you're going, oh, my head, and the doctor is like not paying you close attention, how can the doctor diagnose and offer you a prescription that works? Right? Is that these types of relationships are so critical, right, to really igniting that opportunity to serve another human or a company. Is that we must see you, you must see us, right? We must desire whatever it is you're offering, because buying is a conscious activity, except if you've subscribed, right? If you've subscribed to something and then it becomes subconscious, right? But the very first time where we all get to buy or invest in a product or a service, it's something that is ignited in our consciousness. There's also a principle I teach at the Business Academy called the customer blind spot. Is that there are certain times when you're bringing a solution, you're presenting an offer, okay, that addresses a problem. But the people you're presenting it to, and this is true, I believe, for most people following you on social media today, is that you are presenting your business, your offers, your products, you're telling your story. But most of the people following you may not actually know you're speaking to them. Why? Because the problem your solution is targeting, they do not believe they have that problem. Right? Is that if you're a dentist, the only people that will consciously know they need a dentist are people that maybe are suffering toothache currently. So how do you nurture a pipeline over time, right? Is that you have to start not just telling them about the ultimate pain, but you have to attack the symptoms. That's one of the principles people, when you turn on your TV and you're watching ads, particularly those that are notorious for this is more of the drug medication industry. Do you have a leg pain? Do you feel cramps? Do you sweat at night? Like, they're trying to help you self-diagnose. Because if you don't have that problem, you're not going to call them. You're not going to believe you need that medication. So they in a way, in a very naughty way, they scare you into going, oh, is that really what's going on? Is that why I'm sweating in the night? Oh, I didn't know I had this. That, like, all of a sudden, you're watching your favorite show and you're interrupted by an ad from a pharmaceutical company telling you you have a problem. All of a sudden, even if you didn't have that problem, now you're like, let me go to their website. Let me go to WebMD. Let me read more about this. Okay. But I'm really having a great time here. If you don't know, I can be very dramatic. I enjoy storytelling and all of that. So anyway, so just imagine is that if that company doesn't talk about the symptoms and they just say, if you have this, buy this, they're going, no, I don't have that, so I'm not buying. The same thing is true online today, is that for you to acquire customers, part of the strategy that I'm teaching today is give your followers enough data points about what they should be looking for in their own reality that would help them understand that something is going wrong, right? The reason this is so important is because many times people don't understand that there is a cost to inaction, that there's always a consequence for not taking a solution that is being offered to you. So as example, if you have a toothache and you refuse to seek out an expert, a dentist, the consequence is you will keep bearing that pain. It might go up, it might get worse, it might get better. Eventually you will decide, right? Eventually that decision is up to the individual. This is why when I teach persuasion and sales, I tell people, you cannot make anybody buy anything. Like, humanly speaking, you can't make, like, I cannot make you. You cannot make me. You cannot say, Toyin, A, B, C, D, do. No, right? You can't do that. But then in customer acquisition, there is a principle of understanding the conditions and helping people understand even the consequences of inaction. Is that if you have a toothache and you're not going to see the dentist, or you have a pain and you're not going to see the doctor, you will bear the consequences all by yourself. That's true today. And the same is true in business. Whatever services, your solutions you're offering, you absolutely also need to communicate. I'm offering you a way out. Like last week, I talked about the tales of two cities. For those who joined last week, right? I talked about usually on any major topic, right? When you start out trying to do something, you start out not being successful at it, meaning you don't know what you're doing. And then on the other side is success, right? The city of the successful people, the city of the unsuccessful. More from a philosophical standpoint is that when you're approaching anything new, you start out being unsuccessful at it unless somebody teaches you. And then the moment you learn it and you master it and you acquire the skills, you cross over and now you're a master, right? Now, in between those two journeys, let me call them a journey from I cannot do this to yes, I know how to do this, right? There's usually a wide gulf of chaos, right? In the middle of chaos is you're gathering information, you're going online, you're searching. Most people are not skilled to extract actionable data from massive amounts of information. So unless you're, say, for example, an economist, or like for myself, I have a first degree in mathematics. So I see trends, I see patterns. Like we are actually trained to go through the noise and then say, okay, which one is actually usable? And even as a strategist, also part of the stuff. So as a strategist, as a futurist, as a trained technologies, like I actually have the training to take in massive amounts of data points, to do deep research, and to say, what they say, eat the meat throughout the bone. Like that, I think that's an American saying, right? It's like eat the meat throughout the bone is that most times, particularly in today's world where information is abundant, most people are taking massive amounts of information, but it's leading to indigestion. Because if you don't have the skill to break those information down, you will corrupt. It actually leads to more chaos and confusion. It's like you want to cook a food and you have 100 cooks in the kitchen telling you, no, it's this, no, it's that. Or you're trying to go to a destination and you're asking for direction from 50 different people. That's where most people are finding themselves today, because they do not realize that what you actually need is clarity, direction, motivation, right? You need all of those things, and that's how you're actually going to move yourself from being unsuccessful at one thing to success. Now, here's where this comes in for you as an entrepreneur, is that your solution can serve as a bridge to help people cross over faster. So that's the story you want to tell. You want to tell the story. Okay, this is about acquiring customers and strategies you can deploy right now on social media. Is you want to tell a story of how your bridge, your product and your service is the best, right? It's the best solution for helping people go from where they are today in the land of chaos, confusion, right, to securing clarity and your ability to demonstrate that you are the best choice for them and that you have the expertise, the deep expertise and the experience and results to show. That's how you will start getting a different kind of attention. Why? The attention you're going to get are people that then go, oh, yes, I'm trying to get there. Yes, I've been trying different approach that's not working. Now I can pay attention and say, tell me more. Right? Is that the moment you get the attention of, the soon to be girlfriend? Let me go back there. Is that, hey, lady, you say whatever it is, you say, guys, and the moment you go, oh, let me give him a little bit more attention. He said something that caught my attention. It hasn't sealed the deal, but at least you're getting closer. So part of the strategy you want to deploy online is get a little bit closer, right? Say something that is very, very intimately, it shows that you're intimately aware of the struggles and the aspiration. Like, I'm here today struggling. My desire is to become more successful. Tell me how you're going to help me be more successful. That's what people are looking for. That's what customers are looking for. Okay? Is that people become your customers because they believe that your product and your service will do certain things for them. Now, there are templates and workbooks that are put in place. There are frameworks that we use. Like I shared the 5-part series at the Business and Leadership Academy, where I say you will absolutely feel like the specific questions you have to answer. The reason is because everybody operates in different industries, okay? And even if you're operating in the same industry, you bring different skills and uniqueness to the marketplace, right? So what I do is I give framework, I give guide, I provide right? All of those things. And then we get to personalize it, right? Is that this is the general framework, but how do we personalize it for your industry, right? For your product offerings, for your service offerings, for your own personal brand or your company brand, is that you have a unique story and a unique solution that you're bringing into the marketplace. And at the end of the day, it has to be precise, like I shared earlier on. So that's what I wanted to share today. Let's open it up for some conversations. Would anybody, let me scroll down. Does anybody have any question, reaction, thoughts? Feel free to raise your hand. The way the app works. Miss Venda, thank you. Yeah, who else wants to join us on stage? Yes, welcome. How are you today? Oh, you need to, oh no, we lost you there. So let me just share this briefly. This is what I've seen and experienced on this app. The very first time you come up to the stage, using this app, sometimes we've seen the glitch. You almost have to go back down and then come back up again, and then we test it out. And then the mutes and the unmutes, you have to test that as well. So it's not you, it's the app. I think it's still in beta testing. But so far, at least for me, I'm using it enough times that I'm getting more used to the platform. So let's try this again, Miss Venda. Please raise your hand again, and then I'll be happy to bring you up. And Kabbalah guy, I see you. Did you just come in? Please come up stage. Let's have a great conversation here. So let's try this again. If you unmute, will it work? Try.
Good morning, Coach Toy, and can you hear me?
Yes, good morning.
Oh my goodness, you have me laughing this morning. Thank you so much. I just have to tell you that I love your analogies. You make it crystal clear what must be done to acquire customers, and you've made it humorous, so it is unforgettable. Thank you.
Oh,
I look forward to my relationship with you.
Me too. Like yesterday night, you and I were going back and forth. So thank you for joining up. If you allow me to share it, like, thank you so much. I am always excited. Like when people take this leap of faith, because it is a leap of faith, right? Miss Vanda, for you to pick me, for you to fall in love with me, and I fall in. Oh my God. Like really, it's a love relationship. Like Miss Kabbalah guy is down below as well. She's gone through she's part of the community. I fall in love because I'm out to delight. That's just me, right? So the people I work with become my best friend. Like we laugh, we do life together. We're like, yes, let's go through the tricks. It's the trick. It's the tricks for me. It's the strategies. It's the mindset, right? Like we do these things, we have fun, but we're building our businesses, right? But one of the things I try to do is protect your energy, right? Like as an entrepreneur, you need energy for sure. You need passion, you need energy. But what's going on is people are being told to apply their energy into spaces that will not yield results for you. That's what's most frustrating for me, is that I see people struggling, doing this, doing that, and I'm going, no. Amazon isn't doing that. Like Amazon is not on this street throwing time and energy doing nothing. If you go to Amazon.com, because they have a winning brand and they've told their story over the years, even if you put product in your shopping cart, Amazon ain't talking to you. Like they're not dealing. You're not their customer yet. You can follow them forever, but the customer relationship starts the moment you bring out your credit card.
Yes.
Now you bring out that card. Now you're serious. That moment, you get an alert. Amazon will tell you, thank you so much for your purchase. You will receive it in 48 hours. In fact, sometimes they will tell you will receive it same day delivery. Yes. They get to work on your behalf. And until you establish that customer relationship, I work for the biggest brands in the world. We don't mistake followers for customers. Until you enter a physical Walmart store, you're not going to hear, welcome to Walmart. Right?
Yes.
Because the moment you step in, the relationship starts. The dance starts. Now we have to delight you. Now you're here. Now we can do that dance. Everything up until that is ads, promotional ads. It's telling the story of my brand, save money, live better, right? So it's the boy meets girl. It's you flashing your nice car, right? It's all of those things. And then the moment the person agrees to be in relation with you, now you bring out your premium offerings, right? But out here on the streets of social media, they're telling you more. I'm like, wait. More for what? More for what? And then what's also happening is people are being cultured. Many more people are being cultured to take advantage of entrepreneurs. So watch out for that. I'm sharing this because when I coach and guide, I'm saying, please let us be clear why we're doing this. We have families to raise. We have kids. We also have a life. I have a life. You have a life. Protect your energy. You don't owe anybody, but if you understand this routine, the process, you have to do certain things. You have to build certain strategies so that you can convert, you can communicate. This is who I am. This is what I can do for you. These are results and outcomes I've delivered for other people. These are my products. This is what my products will do for you. I care about you. And if you believe me, this is where faith comes in. If you believe this story, then let's do business together. And until you believe it, let's still keep talking, right? Right? That's where engagement and content comes in. I'll keep sharing more. I'll keep revealing more of myself because I hope that eventually you arrive at the conclusion that I'm the best person that can help you go from point A to point B. Now, this also is true for the luxury market. So if you're in the luxury business, this is applicable. The only slight difference is luxury promises you delights, exceptional delights, like over the top. That's the game of luxury, like Bentley, Louis Vuitton, like they're selling the same commodity at the end of the handbag shoe, right? That you could buy anywhere else, but their promise, the promise of that boyfriend is I'm going to give you the high life. Like if you hang out with me, don't hang out with them. Don't hang out with Payless. Right? Like Payless is fine if you're for Payless. Like the boy is saying, girl, see me, you want to have this life I'm living too, right? But if you want that life, you can go to Payless, but I ain't Payless. I'm pay more. So anyway, I'm just trying to paint this picture because I really want this to soak in. I want it to soak in because part of this is mindset, part of it is skill set, part of it is strategy. The moment we can get our minds right and we understand, like if you're playing a game, so there's a program called the Game Plan, 12 Strategies for Winning in Life and Business, is if you understand truly that this world follows principles and there are rules. Entrepreneurship follows principles and rules. If you don't seek to understand what those rules are, how are you going to win? Like it's like showing up to the soccer field or the football stadium and saying, I'm going to win, but you don't have a strategy. That's what's happening a lot today is we actually have to understand the rules of the game. We have to seek to understand the market. We have to understand the size of the market, the potential. When we say the size of the market is the previous purchasing capacity of people that have bought these types of products previously. The reason this is important is when I coach, I also say, depending on the community you're serving, okay, that same product or service may generate a different feedback. Why? Because it's them, it's not you at the point. Is that certain communities may see certain things as premium, certain other market segments may go, that's basic. It's on them, it's not you. So the understanding the behavior and the thought patterns and the mindset of the community you're going after has to inform our message as well. Like the message we have to deliver, right? So one of the things I say is that content is the vehicle that will help you deliver a message. So just as you have a message to deliver, you really have to know what side of the market are you delivering this message on, right? And how do you package it, right? Because if you go to one house, someone would look at that message and go, oh, do you have a new baby? Like, let's say your message is, I sell baby products, buy baby products, right? If you go to a house and that house has grandparents, grandpa, grandma with a walking stick, they would see baby product. They will look at each other and say, no, we are past that. No, we are not interested. That message was delivered to the wrong people. Okay. If you take that message, but if you take it to a house of a newlywed, they'll go, oh, honey, right? Like, oh, how did they know? Right? How did they know that we're expecting? And by the way, there's actually data analytics and data that is in place right now, where if you do based on your search on the internet, right? There are certain companies that mine that data and they know you're expecting, and they will send you. You just open your mail and here you go. They already took your data. So these are things we do, like big data is trying to understand the state of mind and the needs of customers. Is that if you can meet them while they're searching for, you know, nursery, I'm trying to set up my nursery, and here you go, you become the superhero, right? This is the beauty of entrepreneurship, is if someone is doing a search for specific things and you show up with what they need, they're going, oh, heaven just sent me, right? You become, and those moments are magical to me, right? Those moments are magical. Did you all watch this ad? Or was it just on social media that I saw this? When it was it Mother's Day? I think Mother's Day, you would find it was very funny, comical. Like women were taking the cell phone of their boyfriends and husband and they were speaking their desires into the phone. Did you see that, Miss Venda? Did you see that ad? I think it was on social.
No, I missed it.
Okay, it was this thing. I think I saw women do it a lot because they knew that on the cell phone, the moment you search for something, the ads will start showing up. So it was kind of like trying to hint their boyfriend and significant other in terms of, oh, buy me a shoe. I want shoe. You say it into their cell phone. All of a sudden, anytime they're using their cell phone, they'll start seeing ads for that shoe. And it's supposed to trigger them to say, oh, maybe I should buy a shoe for my wife. Not realizing that the wife actually planted those data. So that was something very funny that I saw because I understand retail and how we use data, consumer insights data to really, at the end of the day, sell products and services. So thank you so much. Any other questions for me? I know you and we are going to go down soon and do some work for your business. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. I look forward to it.
Me too. I am happy. Like usually, like I'm just so excited because I know the transformation that this brings about for people. In fact, that's why I decided to be opening the spaces just to share some of that excitement and just share some of that strategy, some of the mindset principles that I teach, that I package in programs, methodologies, design thinking. We do a lot of design thinking framework as well when it comes to the customer journey, or even the journey of an entrepreneur to business growth and success. Is that you start out with your mindset, you understand your brand message, you have to put the customer as the center of your business. And the analogy I give is, I say, just like you have your heartbeat, right? It's that the blood flows from the heart, right? It's the same thing. Cash flow, like in business, like cash flows from the customer, right? Is that you need to put them as the heart of your business. There's something we call customer obsession in retail, is that you absolutely need to be obsessed. We use the strong words, right? Really, because again, the biggest brands in the world, they are playing a different game. Okay? They're not playing these other things that people are doing, dance on reels, In fact, if you go to the brand pages of the biggest brands in the world, their pages are seriously protected. They will pay other people to do certain things they will not do on their own page. That's another thing I try to get entrepreneurs, like protect your brand identity, right? Demonstrate thought leadership, right? Create awareness, tell your story, do it over and over again, right? Position yourself to delight your customers. This is the assignment for the entrepreneur, not all of these other things. Is that if you do those things well and consistently, okay, it's just a matter of time, right? Because the biggest brands in the world, they are winning today because they actually also spend significant time. They've been around 10, 20, 30 years, being consistent at it. And now they don't have to chase anybody else, right? They will still do top of mind, they'll still do ads, they'll still position themselves. But if you think about it, they show up on your TV, they stimulate your heart, you remember them, right? Because they tell you we're still here, we care about you, but they're not doing again all the other things, but they're spending significant amounts of money, like millions and dollars of money, to promote and create those stories, right? That gets filtered and brought into our world. And it's the same thing I also try to teach entrepreneurs, is that part of entrepreneurship is consistency in presenting your story to the people you want to do business with, right? Because at the end of the day, they also have to, then you have to give them enough time. We have to give the lady enough time to talk to our friends, to talk to our daddy, to consider the proposition, right? And then you live happily ever after. So anyway, I'm just this is how I think. I think in terms, because I tell myself, like, I didn't leave corporate to come and do all these things people are saying. Oh, jump on reels. Oh, it's TikTok. I'm like, no, 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 no. Let me own in on my strengths, right? Let me design what works for me first. And then once you have a winning strategy, that is when you then ramp up. You put more firepower behind a winning strategy, not a failing strategy. That's something to also note, is that don't put in more until you know that strategy works, right? Like if, for example, if you believe doing certain things on Reels worked and you bring the data and you say it's working, then I'll tell you, please go. If that's what's working, then get more people behind that. But the scenario that I'm finding is that many people think, even if it's not working, I can do it more and all of a sudden it will start working. No, it doesn't. No. Right? It tends not to work that way. Is that if you give it enough time and you test it, come back to the drawing board, evaluate the results, good or bad, it's like a lab. Try something else. Try something new. And this is where experience comes in. Remember, I talked about skill. There's skill involved. Is that experience comes because you've developed skill, and skill comes through repetition and practice. You're going to try different types of things over a period of time. You're going to go back to the drawing board. You're going to evaluate which one worked, what were the outcomes, and based on those results, over time, you can then say, wow, this is getting me the results I want. So I'm going to put more resources, more time, more energy to push and propel this approach. But even when you do that, you still need to constantly, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, you still need to keep at pace. You still need to keep measuring. So that's what we do, like in corporate and in retail, because we know that market shifts as well, that behavior shifts. So something that worked last week, you might try it this week and you might get a different outcome. Why is that? Is because we're living at a time where the news circle, like before now, the reaction of the marketplace of customers wasn't that fluid. Like people could think for themselves in a way. Let me just say that, is that people were more resilient to stories in the news. But whether it's COVID or whatever has happened in the last 2-3 years, human behavior has changed in a way that people now react faster. So if you watch the news is having greater effect on humans now than ever before. And it's immediate. And that's why I tune all of those things off, because I want to be focused. I want to be clear. Is that you can watch a news report now, and in that moment, it will generate a reaction from you. Because our guards are now low or down. I'm just calling this out for you, for each person listening to me, to also be aware that you are now more, how do I say this? You can now be influenced faster by things you're seeing, things you're hearing, right? And you have to guard, you have to protect, you have to create a protective layer for yourself, because the bombardment of the news, right? You have to be careful how you're letting that even influence you as an entrepreneur. But you also have to also understand that your customers are being influenced every single day in such a way. So even when, say for example, yesterday they were all happy, if they open the news today and there's a news report, inflation is high, gas prices are high, and all of a sudden you are trying to market your product, you may get a different reaction because they've now been cultured in the culture of fear. So there's a lot of fear being thrown around into the marketplace. So just be aware. And for me, this is what I do to combat that for the people that follow me. I create a space like this, okay? Because I know if we all experience faith, inspiration, motivation, this type of energy will propel you forward. That's why I invest in creating a safe space such as this one, where all you're going to hear from me is something that would help you advance your own goals. Because I know we actually have to counter all of the, because the moment you step out of this space, reality sets in again. The news cycle sets in. And that world is driving fear. And I wish I could tell you that it's going to stop. I think worse is actually coming. Is that more fear will be put out there, and you have to protect your space, particularly as an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, is if what you're doing is not working, understand the conditions that is affecting your marketplace. Is that the customers you're trying to serve, they are being cultured to be fearful. And fearful people do not invest. They don't believe in tomorrow. Fearful people lose hope and they save their money. Can we talk about that, Miss Venda? Okay.
Yes, we can. We must guard our minds. Positivity rules. And because of what you just said, I am going to stop watching the news every morning because it does dampen your outlook.
Right. And wow. This is a balance. Like the most successful people that I know, they don't watch excuse me. They don't watch the news that you watch.
Okay.
Right? They actually invest in paid subscriptions like Harvard Business Review, journals, business journals. Like they go to MSNBC's, NBC, like they Wall Street and all of those things. They cocoon themselves. They don't read the same magazines. If you go to a regular store like a pharmacist, all those magazines that you see that is about lifestyle, No, you won't find it in their offices. they are actually the ones selling you those magazines. They are making a business out of those types of things. But what they are consuming is not that. You won't find any of those things. What they are consuming, like Black Enterprise, they're consuming the Entrepreneur magazine, they're consuming Fortune magazine. Like I used to subscribe to all of those things as well. In fact, I need to start a new subscription. The reason you pay for those types of magazines, I tell you, this is what happens. You will be inspired. I remember when I lived in a small town in Arkansas that was very closed off. That was the gift I gave myself. I subscribed to Fortune and all of this magazines. I'm not selling them, but I'm saying that when you're isolated, you want to open a channel where inspiration comes in. And the magazines, like particularly Fortune, because I subscribed to them for a long time, every time I open those things, they tell you who is doing what, who is making this billion, zillion, million. And then you read, what did this guy do to make zillion, billion, zillion? And you're going, you did that to do this, Tony.
I must find out what they are doing.
I'm like, I am you. I'm gonna be you.
Yes.
My story is
So
gonna be here.
yes, I must follow them to learn what they're doing.
And then sometimes I cut some clippings and then I put it on the wall. You are my inspiration.
Yes.
So, oh my God, this is what I do. So when I come out and like, I know a lot of people that follow me every morning and I'm putting positivity out there. People are like, Tony, where is that coming from? I say, it's an overflow. It's an overflow. Because everything I do runs on positivity. Everything that I touch runs on positivity. That's the only way you get to do what I do. You have to delete all those viruses, all those stories, everything that tells you you cannot, those things, you have to completely wipe them from your memory. Right? For you to push yourself forward. And at the end of the day, we then offer the best version of ourselves. That's the duty of the entrepreneur. That's the mindset of an entrepreneur is you have to do the work. We have to do the work on ourselves first. We have to lead ourselves. We have to discipline ourselves. Why? Because our productivity depends on it. It's like a farmland, right? If you're trying to plant, okay, in a farm that has been left dormant for 7 years, you've got to do more work. Because if you plant something, the conditions of that land will choke it. Period. If God plants ideas in your mind and you've not cultivated your mind to receive the possibilities that idea holds, that a seed holds in it a tree, and the tree holds in it fruits, and the birds of the air, now I'm quoting the preacher, Tony is coming out, like, and the birds of the air can take solace in your idea, that your idea has incredible potential. You're living conditions where those ideas are being choked. So it starts with us first, mindset. What do you believe about yourself, about the world, about the possibilities that the world holds for you? And how are you going to get yourself to go get those opportunities? That's where the starts from. Oh, Miss Venda, you've read my book. I just remembered. You did say you read my book. What happened? I love getting feedback. What was that experience like?
I absorbed everything that you said, and you pointed out things that I needed to do that I was not doing. And I needed you as a coach. I'm drawn to your positivity and enthusiasm. And I just realized I was trying to be an entrepreneur by myself, and it didn't make any sense. A doctor must go to medical school to be a doctor. A lawyer, an attorney. If you want to be an attorney, you got to go to law school. So I want to be an entrepreneur. I have to get business training all over again, which is why I said I must join your Business and Leadership Academy. It was a no-brainer.
Wow.
I was getting frustrated. I have followers on social media, but they're not converting to customers. So I really didn't have any choice. And I'm committed. I will not give up.
No, we can't.
Yes. So I knew I had to do this.
Wow. Thank you for that. And just even transparently, I also have places I go to, right? Like transparently, like this thing is true, is that there's not going to be grace flowing if I don't have a source. Like if I don't have speed, like earlier this week, I don't know if you've seen some of the pictures I put out there. Literally earlier this week, I spent an entire day with one of my mentors and we're doing several things together, which is not public, right? But anyway, I spent my entire Tuesday soaking in the presence of this incredible business leader that actually has successfully in the past, he successfully built a company for his family. The family built it, took it over, he grew it, and he sold it to Verizon for $29 billion. Okay? And then he took the proceeds and invested it in Africa. And now, that business is like, I'm not going to put the numbers out there. I'm like, tell me something. So I spent my entire Tuesday soaking in his presence, like listening to him, talking business strategy, mapping out different things, talking about my own struggle. He telling me about his own struggles and saying, hey, I'm glad I didn't give up. Year 5, year 6, if I had given up, we wouldn't have all this right now. So, Toyin, how are you doing? I'm like, you know. So, Toyin, because even when I was leaving corporate years ago, he was the same person I had a conversation with. And like, Toyin, this. So we laughed about that even this week as well, right? So I'm just also saying that entrepreneurs, we all need one another. And when your dreams, particularly when you have big dreams, the bigger your dreams, really, I think the more, should I say, power we must pack, right? The more inspiration, the more we must protect our energy, because we are going to need all of that energy to propel ourselves forward. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is that this thing runs on energy. And anything that is stealing your energy, that is making you feel less than, right? That is sapping you, we have to first cut those things off. Or I mean, even if, like, I know myself, there are some people, like my husband, okay? He will read those things and they have zero effect on him. Right? Like, he has a shield around that he can consume certain things and he still goes about his life as if nothing happened. If that's you, please, God bless you. That's fantastic. But when we know ourselves, that's not me. I'm too sensitive. I'm very, very touchy-feely. Like, I read, I sense, I'm in tune. Like, because as a futurist, I know where the world is going. As a strategist, I see what people don't see. Like, I'm trained to read so much that people are not even seeing with their naked eyes. So because of that side of me, it bothers me too much. And that's why I had to let it go. Just because of my nature. I want to keep my sensitivity, because I would have to kill my sensitivity to remain in those spaces. Like, I would have to lose my superpower to endure negativity. Right? So because my superpower, my intuition has to always be on, I have to also not take in wrong data. So that's just a personal thing I'm putting out there so that you can assess who you are, and you can design spaces that would help nourish you as you are. So that's one of the things I also try to do for my clients, is don't try to be somebody else. Don't try to do what other people are doing, because you are not them. But you can crack the code of your own DNA as you are. And you can find your own unique strengths. And you can offer the beauty of your strengths to the world. And people will fall in love with that. People will fall in love with you being you. Okay? That's where authenticity comes in, versus you trying to be something else that you're not, and you're attracting the wrong people. That's something that Instagram, a lot of people make that mistake, is they paint a certain picture because they think that picture is going to attract more people to them. And fantastic, it helps them grow their following, right? They can have 1 million following, but it's the wrong following. Is that if you adopt a fake life, you will attract fake followers and fake fans. But if you portray your real life, even if you don't grow as fast as people promise you should be growing, but at least it is sticky. This is what we call sticky. There's love, there's passion and love and connectedness that is deeper. That relationship is deeper and more meaningful. So I go after those types of relationship, not the surface one. And that's why I'm holding a space like this, is that at the end of the day, all I have to offer are my perspective, who I am, what I like. And I believe it's more than enough. You have to believe that for yourself as well, right? You have to be, as an entrepreneur, we have to believe that you're more than enough. You are more than enough. And you're uniquely made to serve. And the people you're called to serve will absolutely fall in love. You will rescue them. You are their hero. You will have a great, amazing. I've experienced it over and over again. I've experienced it. And that's why I'm sharing this, is that you want to find the right relationship, because you are who you are, because you're sharing your skills, because you're sharing your perceptions, everything that you are, you're offering it to your world. And that is a magnet. The people that you were made to serve will come from all over the world. They will be attracted to the truest version of you. And that's why I don't play the games that other people play. I don't. No. I don't. It's not like I do a lot of things my way. Like, I mean, these are like all of the things people do. Like, I've enjoyed and I'll continue to enjoy some incredible opportunities, right? Is that I remember, like, as far back as, was it 2016? We did an engagement at Walmart. At that time, I think I was at Walmart. This women in technology, and we had like award-winning videographers and photographers. Like, I love pampering. I love that life. I live that. I love it. I love it. What I'm saying is that when people are using a portrayal of a life that doesn't belong to them to try and woo those girlfriends, you're likely to only attract people that are also surface materialistic. And that's okay. If that's what you're selling and if that's what you're trying to buy, if that's the type of girlfriend you're looking for. We also talk about wife materials. Okay, I'm taking this too much, right? Okay, let's bring it back. I'm just saying, please, when we're also acquiring customers, right, let's be clear on the types of relationships we want and we desire. I've just shared mine. I'm desiring like meaningful relationships, because the people I have served, they come into, like, I see them, they come in, they go, they reach out to me, we're doing life together at the end of the day. Really. Like, I remember, like, one of my clients, she was like, Toyin, wait, I took a class earlier in the year. Where's my certificate again? I can't find it. I'm like, here you go. She was like, thank you. I need to put that on my LinkedIn. I was like, okay. So we cheer each other. Like, that's also something, like the relationships that I love and fall in love with, right? We cheer each other up. We're like, good, how are you doing? Like, my clients are like texting me, Tony, I tried this. Have you seen my have you seen my Instagram? And then they DM, because they are going from, I can't do Instagram, to now I'm doing Instagram. And they're sending me like, Tony, what do you think? And I'm going, yes. Go. Could you do this better? That's what I love. And those are the things that happen really behind the scene. So for me, when I go out there, it's about clarity in terms of the relationships I'm trying to establish. So I also know it's not for everybody, because it's really a lot of hard work, but it's meaningful. And when we train, this is what I've experienced. Once you're trained, you cannot be untrained. Like, the moment you become, say, a nurse, like, nobody can take that away from you. Like, that's really the beauty of all of these things, is that if you invest time in acquiring the skills, you're set for life, right? That's the life of success, is nobody can come to you and take your knowledge, your skills away from you. And that's why I always encourage people to really lean in heavily into that space. So thank you, everyone, for today. I'm happy, really. I'm thankful, I'm happy, I'm grateful. I feel blessed to be doing this work. The other day I posted something. I said, the world is hungry. Do you have what the world is hungry for? I just put it out there because it was a thought in my mind. And it's realizing that even as entrepreneurs, at the end of the day, our ability to meet the needs of others is the ultimate honor, really, at the end of the day. Like, I come from a space, I haven't worked for Walmart, save money, live better. It's that when you think about the story of where that company started from, it started from serving rural America. And today the company still serves the people that most people don't want to serve. And from my faith standpoint, that's what drives that stuff touches my heart, is that we all have incredible value. We can serve one another. And the customer relationship kicks in when people want more from us and they believe that what it is we can do for them is going to transform their life. You actually have to build solutions such that people believe in you and the work that you do. And thank you so much for everybody that have stayed here. I really do appreciate it. On that note, I'll be closing out for today. I'm hoping, this is what I'm working towards. I'm really hoping that I can open these types of conversation, at least maybe an hour each weekday. That's where I'm trying to land this. I know sometimes I'm traveling here and there. There might be days I will not be available, but I want to try and fit this into my daily routine. So I'm trying different times, 9 a.m. Central Time. Yeah, I'm here in Chicago. I've tried 11. So I'm looking for, because different people follow me from different parts of the world. Like someone once emailed me, Tony, I caught you when it was 1 a.m. my time in Australia. I was like, oops, sorry. Like, so I know people are joining from different parts of the world, and this not being recorded. Like, I'm also trying to test out some ways to record it because people reach out to me and say, Tony, I missed that. I was in a meeting. So I'm just trying different things. So I say that to say, please reach out to me if you have any ideas. Just give me your feedback. I guess that's it. So again, thank you so much, Miss Venda. I am so much looking forward to meeting, connecting, getting to know you, supporting you, and driving growth for you as well. I enjoy it. I really do enjoy this work.
Thank you, Coach. I'm doing my homework.
You
I'm on it.
Oh my God. Like
I stayed up late.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Like that's why I have to tell people ahead of time that there's work. But when you do this work, it will shift minds. In the attempt to answer those questions, you will go, wait a minute. What's my market? What are my customers? Like, that's really the beauty of this, is that it's how we think also helps us build better businesses, right? Because now we can take that skill. Right? So thank you so much. But I try to tell people that it's a school. It's designed to help people elevate and improve on skill development, like sales, persuasion. Because when we do all of this work, once you go out there, woo, you will sit on your throne and you'll be like, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is what, right? Like I see it will start flowing. That message will start flowing naturally from within. And that's the beauty. It's like the fountain, opening the fountain of life. Because your why inside of you is where that message is. So that's why I usually do like workbooks, because I also say just sit down in a cozy place, print it out, get your pen, get your coffee, and just start journaling. Like I do that again. I do that all the time for myself as well. And I know the power it unlocks for people. Awesome. Yes. So see you soon. And thank you, everybody. God bless you all. And have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, ma'am. Fabian, I saw your thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye now. Bye for now.